My name is Alex Armstead. I live currently in North Las Vegas, Nevada. Grew up in Nanapuli, Hawaii, and I am a U.S. military contractor. Well, it was supposed to be a track car. It was supposed to be a track car. Like when I started building it with the sway bars, tower braces, the Hotchkiss suspension, and everything like that, it was a total drag car. I mean, I could hit a roundabout at like 50 miles an hour and scare whoever the hell's with me. But it kind of transformed into a bit of a show car. It's a lot of show car. You know, a lot of guys, you know, they get their pavement princesses and stuff like that, but as any of my friends can tell you, I drive the hell out of this thing. I mean, the front's rock chipped and all this kind of stuff, and I'll go to car shows with it and be like, whoa, you know, and I get that question a lot. It's like, oh, do you drive it? And I'm like, every day that I can. Besides when I'm deployed, when I'm home, I'm driving this as much as I can, as fast as I can. For engine-wise on the build, I ended up doing the entire Whipple supercharger myself with just the directions that I had from them. You know, there was a couple of pucker factors and I was like, man, I am in over my head. But it was amazing. You know, I stuck to the grind. You know, it was just me. Because I just get back from deployment. I'm not working, so I have the time during the day to do it. You know, I sat in here and it was pretty funny. The first day, you know, I pulled it all apart. It took me about 2.5 days. I pulled the whole engine apart, and I swear to God, I woke up the next morning and walked in here and I was like, oh my God. I mean, parts were everywhere. You know, and I always heard superchargers were a lot easier to install than turbos, you know, because of drilling in the oil lines and the oil pan and some other things and fitment issues. But it's like, you know, luckily, you know, I could read a book. Apparently I can read good. And, you know, I just stuck with it. You know, I think I only had to call Whipple once, and that was for the tune after I was all done. But once I got the tune loaded first crank up, I have not had an issue with that motor since. So I already do, for my friend John Cummings, he actually gave me the equivalent of a 274 comp cam. And so I have a cam that's already ready to go, lifters and valves are already ready to go. All I need is the pistons, forged crank and everything. And next thing you know, that motor will be out of that car, getting completely rebuilt. You know, it's crazy to me because like on Instagram, like people will hit me up and they'll be like, hey man, I'm trying to do this and this, you know, and they're shocked that I take time out of the day to help them. And I'm like, no dude, like I'd rather you do it because nobody can take that from you. And then at the same time, when you mess it up, you can't blame anybody but your fucking self. Like you really can't, you know? And that was kind of like how I lived by it. I was like, if I mess it up, I can't blame nobody else but myself. But it's like the more I did it, I mean, and then obviously too, I have a little bit more experience working on the UAVs. Because, you know, with the Predator, you know, we get to break that motor all the way down and stuff. So, you know, you don't get to go on the lower end, unfortunately, through Air Force money, regs way beyond my pay scale. But, no, like we break it down, cylinders, pistons, the whole nine. We clean it, we put it back together. So as I got more experience doing that, I'm sitting there looking at my car like, well, it's a bigger engine, but it's not that hard, man. Like I'm just gonna do it, you know? So that's why like I had the confidence going all the way in with the supercharger because I was like, if I mess that up, what kind of mechanic am I? You know? So it's like going in there with the confidence to be able to do it. But I swear, man, a couple times I walked out in the morning, I was like, what am I doing? Like, where am I at? You know, and the most nerve-wracking thing is when you got to drill into the crankshaft and the pulley to insert your dowel pin. Because I was like, man, am I hitting the right spot? Like, am I on the right area? And you know, thank God for Whipple, which they are amazing. Because even with the tune, I mean, these guys are ready to go to help me. They gave me a drill bit that was already preset with the spacer on it, and it was locked on there. So as you go, as soon as that thing is flush, you're done drilling. Dowel pin slid right in. I mean, it was like playing on a damn puzzle, really. It really was. So initially when I started with the build, man, there was very few things to do for chargers and everything like that. So, you know, you think outside the box, like especially like when I was working on the flares, you know, obviously there's other guys who's posted videos. So you'll see guys that have Subarus and stuff like that, like the FRSs. So I watched how they did, how they mapped it. And there's actually an amazing video about the gentleman who did all of the Porsches, the RWBs, yeah. I'm sure the people on YouTube are gonna correct me on this, but let us know his name. Because, but I watched one of his videos and how he did it. He did it all by hand, and that legitimately gave me the confidence to do it myself. Because they always say have somebody else help you and stuff like that when you're going to mounting and cutting and stuff. And I did have my one buddy Ryan Scarberry help me out. But besides that, like most of the mapping, like the lining up and all that kind of stuff, I did it all by myself, and I did it in 2 days, just balls to the wall, man. But that's how I work, and I think it's just because of like the military, because you're at a pace where it's go, 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 stop, go, 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 stop. So it's like when I get focused on a job, dude, I'm all out. Like I just go, go, go. Like to be completely honest, when I was doing the Hotchkiss suspension, the tower braces, and the sway bars, because I got it all at once, obviously, when I got it from Hotchkiss, I worked on the car for about 7-8 hours straight, took a nap on the ground in there. Didn't realize I did either, because I was up from the night before. Slept for like 2 hours, woke back up, and went back and finished it like in another 6 hours. Because at the same time, I was still learning about the car too. Like I didn't even know I had to drop the whole rear cradle for this thing. And I was freaking out that the whole rear end of it's dropping down. I see no spring falls out, and I was like, you serious? This is not hard at all. I was like, this is ridiculous, So just over time, and then obviously too, a lot of people don't want to work on their cars and they trust shops too, because a lot of times you still owe money on this car. You still got the loan. You still got to pay it off. This is a financial investment. You don't want to hold the car down and everything, and amazingly, having my girlfriend and stuff like that, and having buddies and friends that's helped me out when I needed it. My car's down, we just bought another vehicle, my Jeep, and so whenever the car goes down, I was like, well, let's hop in the Jeep. I hate that thing. No offense to Mopar and Jeep, but it's a 2000 Grand Cherokee. I don't trust that motherfucker at all. I'd rather drive this thing with 3 wheels than drive that damn thing. But to be completely honest, that thing has been the biggest help that I've ever had was that damn Jeep. I got the flares first, so as I was calling around certain companies and everything, they were making guesstimates about like how far do we need to go out with it, and I was explaining to them that they're the same size, they're the same ones that are coming off of Challengers. So whatever, if anybody's put wheels for those are what the measurements are gonna be. And I called a few other companies and everything like that, and they were making guesstimates, but it just didn't feel right. For some reason, it didn't feel right. So when AG Wheels contacted me and they were like, yeah, we're interested in doing a partial sponsorship, I was excited, and I was cool. So I told them the same situation with the flares, not even without skipping a beat. Yuya Sano, he was like, yeah, you need about 3 inches, bro. And he was like, I got the numbers right here. We just did one not too long ago. And then, but what was funny about it, I was like, well, I'm thinking about doing 20 since, I want more meat and all this kind of stuff. You punked me. He punked me straight up. He was like, nah, you want 22s, dude. And I was like, what you mean? He was like, the next big, so he sends me this picture, gorgeous GTR out of Japan. Is the only fender flare car that was running 21s. Nobody was running 22s. And Yuya said it. He was like, look, dude, you're doing something nobody's doing on a Mopar or on a Charger. He was like, go big or go home, man. All right, 22s it is. The wheels were already wrapped in the tires and stuff like that. I finally got the flares on, and I put them on the car, and the math was so spot on, and it was crazy. Now, for the flares, they, obviously when they're coming from molds, you got to shave down and do some fitment issues and stuff like that, because I had my fair share of fitment issues. And that's why the front tire doesn't have a stretch, and the rear tire does have a stretch, because we had to get it just enough with how far that we were going to cut and weld and everything like that, and how far we wanted it to sit down on the ground. So we're like, we'll just get the little small stretch, and it was beautiful, perfect. As for the last thoughts, it's this build is dedicated to friends that I've lost in the military, and friends that I know that I've lost. I lost a friend recently through suicide, and building this car as a reminder of people that have paid the ultimate sacrifice, and the people that are continuing to serve today, and our veterans. And this build is for everyone. Hopefully it inspires guys, even younger kids, and even for non-military too. There's nothing better in this world when people walk up and like, dude, this car is cool. There's nothing that makes me feel. There's no trophy. There's no any kind of thing like that prestigious award that makes me feel better when people give me compliments on the car. And I'm just happy that guys hit me up on Instagram every day like, bro, where'd you get the flares? Where'd you do this? Where'd that? And I am more than glad to help. Veteran Charger, obviously we'll have it advertised on there. And you guys ever have any questions and answers I can give you, I will. and my best to help you guys out. We got to make this game better. Mopart's taking over the world. Y'all just don't know it yet. Just pissed off all kinds of Chevy dudes on that one. Ford Mustang's like, no, Dodge sucks. I was like, hey, you can look at the sales, man. Look at Dodge sales, baby. Ford about to go in the water. Just kidding. Like I said, the scariest car I ever been in was a GT500.